Hey guys, Casual Chrono here. I am going to face the Ice Jailer, who, on the rankings of the wiki, is a level 7 superboss. He is a repeatable fight and was introduced some time ago. I hope to show you how to defeat him using multiple parties. So it's this area of the Kunlun Mountains. It's the advanced section of the Kunlun Mountains. We're going to go in here. And apparently fight some bats.
May the Mother Goddess be our guide.
You do need the fully powered bow to break through that seal, and the jailer is right here. So the wiki says he's weak to wind, so the first team I want to use is my typical wind zone team. I'll go over what they're equipped with and everything, but basically Sesta is a DPS and everyone supports her. Sidekick wise, I have not included a sidekick. Now the jailer has 4 HP stoppers, and also of course has barriers. Sesta, however, with her twin blade wolf, can break through barriers. So the first attack is very simply just the general combo demonic thrust, which I believe he's resistant to pain and poison. So Sesta's going to twin blade wolf. She's going to cast her strength buff for the team, and she's going to cast her foi sincere, her defensive buff.
Testify. These are the cries.
And this should bring him down to his first HP stopper. He refreshes his barrier. Now on this turn, I'm actually going to blow the AF bar, not because I need the extra damage, but I want to get a stack of An Aurora up, and it lasts for 3 turns. And I need to kill him in 3 turns, so if I cast it now, I'll have it for the remainder of the fight. If I cast this lasts only till the end of the round, so this will guarantee that I have extra speed all 3 rounds. The reason I'm doing this is anticipation. I only have 2 more turns with Twin Blade Wolf, and he has 2 more HP stoppers, which means after the final HP stopper, Sesta can no longer Twin Blade Wolf. So I want my team as powerful as possible. This will also give me a chance to stack the power and int debuffs. I just forget if they carry over between HP stoppers. So anyway, so we're going to blow and buff the team up as a result. Okay, I'm going to cast Twin Blade Wolf now. Get some more buffs in if I can. And that brings him down to his second HP stopper. Okay. This is the last round of Twin Blade Wolf. He did dispel the damage reduction buffs, so I'm just going to cast an Elemental Guard. She's going to do her usual 1-turn buff, and I'm just going to Dragon Assault for this one. So doesn't really matter since he has the barriers. Twin Blade Wolf will chew through it and bring him down to his last stopper. Now this is where it gets interesting. We're going to do a few attacks now. With his shield, I can no longer break through it, so now's a good time to start bringing his shield down. As long as your team can survive basically a 1,000 hit point deduction, which at this point it should, you should have enough time to build back up your AF bar. So we can chew through the remainder stacks of the shield and get some damage in. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So she is going to Dragon Assault. She's going to cast Starving Wolf. She's going to do one round of this and then Anna Roar. And both of these buffs should be up, so she can just spam Floor Breeze the entire time. Alright, the shield stacks are now gone, and I can do damage again. And I'm basically just spamming wind attacks. I don't have a wind zone or anything going, so it's just raw damage. So the party, Sesta, of course, is the main DPS. You want to give her as high of damage weapons as possible. She had the Elpis Dagger. She had Ring of Might and Vitality Badge, which both add extra damage only when your hit points are at maximum. And you may have noticed that for the final round, her hit points were not at maximum. So their bonuses were not kicking in. The grasta were the pain and poison grastas, which you couldn't pain or poison, so none of them really kicked in. Bullseye was in effect for most of the fight, as was MP consumption. The third one is adversity, which did not take effect. Oops. So Suzette just had 2 power of poisons and 1 power of gale. The poisons did not take effect because she couldn't poison. The gale did take effect. Her damage was increased by 30% for the fight with her grastas. She had the Elpis Spear, but she could really have had any weapon, including her own manifestation. And then her gear was a store-bought gear, nothing particularly interesting there. Yifa had things that increased her speed and were more on the defensive end. Miyaki's, which improved speed, reduces MP consumption. Plasma Bangle to give her a little bit of MP restoration, and a speed badge. Her grasta were also nothing particularly interesting. She had regen for all hammer users, but there were no other hammer users. She had 100% debuff and proficiency resistances. Soira, prismatic pick for the critical rate and speed. Grace Armlet for luck and to a degree spirit. And she is very efficient with high luck levels. So she had a luck badge. That's the highest one I have. Her grasta basically gave her health. Each one gave her 300 health. And the first one I gave an HP ore, so she has a total of 1,200 health from her grasta. Otherwise, the grasta didn't do anything for her. Okay, so that was the main row. The backups, Azami was basically a grasta holder for Sesta. If Sesta's hit points were at maximum, she gained extra damage. Sesta had regen because of Azami's grasta. And wind type attacks for Sesta were improved by 30% because of the power of Gale Katana. Otherwise, she was just equipped with gear. Her manifest weapon isn't even maxed out yet. So, okay. And then Milsha was the other person in the back row. She was not equipped with anything. She did have 1 grasta, which improved Lance users' wind damage by 30%. So Milsha was supporting Suzette a little bit and giving Suzette a little extra damage. So no fancy sidekicks. I did not have Ukwaji healing the group. Just had 4 wind users in the front. Sesta took down the first 3 HP stoppers, and then their raw damage was able to handle the rest. So that is the wind zone approach to defeating the Ice Jailer. I'm going to show you how to do the super boss Ice Jailer with featuring Alma as the main damage dealer. Now the Ice Jailer is a little unique here. He has a barrier, so only Alma's attacks will get through since they go through the barrier. In addition, he's currently not weak to crystal, but we can manipulate that a little bit. If you just have Alma, you could do a brain record and change her attack to match his weakness. I can also do Paper Tiger and swap his weaknesses around since I have Jet Xion. So anyway, let's go ahead and do this. So first, Xion is going to just do an attack order, deploy Magic Fate Stance. She is going to Ether Alchema the first turn. It's not going to do that much damage. Just setting up here. Okay. We are going to Rosa Liliac. Now, he's immune to pain and poison, but it still does the decrease in power and intellect. And Radius is going to overwhelm and give barrier to the whole team. And somehow he still got poisoned, even though he's supposed to be immune to it. Okay, now, right now you can see he resists fire attacks, so I'm going to make him weak to fire attacks. She's going to cast either Alchema again, because why not? This time, I am going to buff everyone up. And we'll just continue hitting Overwhelm for the barrier. At this point, now Alma's going to Brain Record. So she's going to convert her attacks to match his weakness. I'm going to increase everyone's magic damage. I'm going to Prominence Purge this round, just because I'm not even sure if he's immune to the rage or not. And she's going to give status immunity to everyone. Alright, at this point, you can see some of his buffs are starting to, or his debuffs are starting to disappear. I'm going to Rose Liliac again, and she's going to Overwhelm to reduce his damage. This would be a good time for her to cast Lunatic. And he is going to go ahead and Awaken the Zone. Because AS Radius cast Prominence Purge, when she took the hit, everyone got healed back, including Alma. So now, Alma's Ether Alchema should do a tremendous amount of damage and bring him down to his first HP stopper. I'm going to go ahead and do an attack order just to inflict break to make sure she does a significant amount of damage. And at this point, I'm going to buff up the team again and Overwhelm again. Okay, he hit his first HP stopper. Alma is still Lunaticked, so she's going to attack again. He's going to create a break again. She's going to do Rose Liliac to reduce his damage, and she's going to Overwhelm for the reduction in damage and the barrier. This should bring him down to his second HP stopper. Okay. This is Alma's last turn as a Lunatic. So she's going to cast Ether Alchemy again. He's going to cast Attack Order because the zone has now been used up. She's going to cast Rosa Liliac again to reduce his damage, and she's going to Overwhelm. So This should bring him down to his final HP stopper. He's at 25% health. And by doing that, I filled up the AF bar. Now, Alma is no longer lunaticked, but she can still do a lot of damage. So basically, it's in my best interests to blow the AF bar and just have her spam Ether Alchema until the boss dies. What are the others going to do? I could have him spam attack order and force a break every single turn, or what I'm probably going to do is just increase her magic damage. So I'm going to cast Black Dragon once and then have him spam attack order. I might even, depending on the damage, I might just have him spam that, because at this point I don't think it's going to matter much. But we will start off with Black Dragon to increase Alma's magic damage. She's going to try and cast Rosa Liliac once. Actually, I don't even know if that's important at this point. She'll just cast a Nocturnal Procession to beef up Alma, and she's going to overwhelm. So 2, 1, 1, 2. 2, 1, 1, 2. And then it looks like Alma's not doing quite as much damage as I was expecting. A lot of her grasta are pain and poison based, and she does have Bullseye, which doesn't take effect during the AF bar. So let's do a Prominence Purge. Let's give status immunity. We will Elixir Ray Alma so she can lunatic again, and we'll have him. Let's have him work on that barrier some.
Take this. Take this elixir.
You can have her lunatic again. We'll have him. Let's just improve weak point damage again. And now with a lunatic Alma who is strong to the boss, this battle should be mostly over. We're going to attack order to give him a break. She'll Ether Alchema. We'll have her. Let's see, how's the debuffs looking? Pretty good. We'll buff the team one more time, and she'll overwhelm. And there you go. Oh, and Pizzica got a level. How nice. Alright, the party. Xion has Pain Grastas, and he has Bullseye on one of them. Not that he did any damage because of the barriers. His weapon, he has a Miyaki's staff, which improves his attack and resistances. He has Time Restored Ring, which gives him a regen and enhances his damage on weak points. Again, not that he did any damage. And he had an End badge. So Alma, her Grasta are all pain oriented, and the boss did not have pain. So I really could have swapped these all out for Poison Grasta, since the boss did seem to be susceptible to poison. So that probably would have been the better route and probably made this fight faster. But she did have Bullseye, and she did have the MP consumption attack. As far as gear, she had the Elpis Bow, the Guidance Ring, which improves her type attack, and she did have the weak point badge, which is 30%. It does not stack, so it did not make any sense for me to put a weak point or on one of her Grasta. So, Iffy, her grasta, was mainly for staff users. If staff users were below 80% health, their damage would increase. That didn't take effect here. All staff users had an extra 300 health, so Shion did too. Now what did help, she had the Almighty Power Gun Grasta, which improves type attack by 25% to anyone who's a gun user. And Alma is technically a gun user. Radius basically just had lots of health. Her Grasta were all 300 HP health. Each one had an ore with 300 health. So she had 1800 extra health from her Grasta. She also had regen, and she had MP consumption. And then another little Grasta that gave her extra 10 endurance and spirit. Her gear, the illusion speed weapon, is maxed out, so it gives hit points, 1,000 of them. She had the Elpis Bangle, which gives health, and she has the HP 2000 50% reduction in speed badge. So she had an unbuffed 9600 health. Pizzica has 2 Grasta. One for bow users. When bow users were at max health, they got a damage boost. And when bow users are below 80% health, they got a damage boost. So Pizzica's Grasta were basically buffing Alma at one point or another. Now, you don't need Pizzica. Any bow user could have done that. So you could have had a 4-star bow user in the background with those Grasta and gotten the same effect. In fact, I did have a 4-star fire staff user in the background by Vet. She had a Grasta that improves damage when staff users are at 30 max health. That would have been Shion in this case, but Shion wasn't doing any damage because of the barrier. She also had the Cat Lover Grasta, which improves damage by 25% for all cat lovers. And it just so happens that Alma and Shion are both cat lovers, so Byvet was also buffing Alma by 25%. If you're not sure if your character is a cat lover, while it would make total sense for it to appear somewhere in the status or even, in the abilities bar, it should say something like, this person is a cat lover. If you go to the Another Eden wiki and just do a search for personalities, you'll see a huge list and you'll see all the characters that are all the personality types. So those were her Grasta. I did have a third Grasta, Power of Inferno. It's not even activated, but if it was activated and upgraded, it would mean that I can improve Shion's damage by another 30% because he's a fire staff user. I did not use a sidekick at all for this fight to show that one was not necessarily needed. So that was the Ice Jailer featuring Alma as the main DPS. Testing out the Minalca damage team against the Ice Jailer. Tweaked a few things on the team, so if I'm successful, I'll go over that. Ice Jailer has a barrier, so Minalca can do the barrier pierce. And she's going to do Rip and Tear. I'm going to go ahead and drop Fire Stance, and that will improve Minalca's damage. Okay. She's going to Overwhelm, and Izuka is going to improve critical damage for 3 turns. Let's do that. So, Venenum Dolor. Alright, let's see how round 1 goes. Alright, we hit Prominence Purge. This time we're going to boost the party's power. She's going to continue to rip and tear. And we are going to now improve fire attacks for 3 turns. That should bring him down to his first HP stopper. And there it is. Now I could blow the AF bar, except that he has HP stoppers at 50 and 25% health as well. So I don't think it's really going to matter much. So we're going to rip and tear. 5 turns, 5 turns. So now we're going to reduce his resistance for 5 turns. She's going to overwhelm. And doesn't really matter what she's going to do. I guess we'll increase critical damage again. That buff's going to wear off before too long. That should bring him down to his 50% HP stopper. And there it is. Minalca's main strength, at the beginning of each turn, you'll notice the team takes damage. How much damage gives her stacks of, I think, what was it called? Trillium? Tributum. So she has 41 stacks. The maximum she can have is 50. So you want to try and get 50 stacks as often as possible. And the way to do that is to improve the team's health. Anyway, we are going to overwhelm again. We are going to... does it still have reduced fire damage? Yes, so... doesn't really matter, I think. So she's going to rip and tear again. And this buff is probably going to run out pretty soon because it's 3 turns, so we'll rebuff with that one. Alright, so I have 41 tributium again, so another rip and tear will probably bring him down to his 25%. So, let's see, just cast that. I guess we can lunatic her, because why not? So, let's make sure that his fire resistance stays low, and she will just continue to overwhelm. This should bring him down to his 25% stopper. New barrier up. There's no more barriers, so if I really felt like it, I could blow the HP, or the AF bar at this point. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do just for fun. You've seen the general pattern. I could just continue to rip and tear, continue to cast various buffs, and so forth, and cast Overwhelm and Prominence Purge, but let's just blow the AF bar and see if we can finish this. So. Right, the barrier should be out now.
You bet this is gonna hurt.
And there goes the Ice Jailer. So the team I used, Izuka had the Mujima sword, plasma bangle, and I gave her an HP badge to improve her HP. Her grasta, power of venom, and a couple of power of blazes to improve her fire type attacks. The venom sword is not awakened yet, so it's not really doing anything for Izuka right now. Minalca, I gave her the power plus MP halved badge, so she has 540 attack. She has the Elpis sword and rainbow bracelet. Her grasta, power of agony with bullseye, power of pain that is not upgraded, another power of pain with enhanced weak point damage, but this particular boss was not weak to fire. Aisha, I gave her an HP 2000 badge to boost her health, and she has the Dreamy Staff, which is regen and some resistance, basically to kind of bulk her up. So she does have 3 fire type attacks for 30%, so 90% extra fire damage. Though she's not the main damage dealer here, it would probably make sense if I get more HP ore and start basically buffing her health up further to get those tributium stacks going. Radius has a nice HP of over 10,000 now. She has illusion speed maxed out for 1,000 health, Elpis bangle for health. She also has an HP 2000 and speed reduction badge. Her grasta, 1 gives her 300 health base and is upgraded for 300 health. She also gets regen from it. 1 is another 600 health, and the third one is 600 health. For Aldo, in the back row, he has grasta that supports if people are at max health. They do sword users do extra damage. If sword users are below 80% health, they do extra damage. And then if any sword user, their fire type attacks go up. So Aldo is actually beefing up all 3 of those characters. Though as you could tell, Minalca was rarely at full health. Yukaji was in the back just helping with the healing. His grasta gave everyone just a little bit of resistance. And as far as sidekicks, Tetra was helping with the healing, and Korobo was helping with his aura, because when things take fire damage, their power and intellect go down, and with this group, pretty much anything they attack is going to take fire damage. So that is how you can beat the Ice Jailer, featuring Minalca. I am still learning more about her. I see lots of videos of her doing tons and tons of damage, which I am not doing right now. So I need to learn why. It could just be something simple like improve their health more so she gets more stacks. But I'm going to be researching that. I just got her a few weeks ago, and I really haven't had a chance to play with her yet. So anyway, so that is that's 3 different ways to kill the Ice Jailer with fairly different teams. So I hope some of this helps you in your team building process. Casual Crono, signing out.